It's a distraction. Some people say everything's a distraction. The latest post by the president is a distraction. The latest headline or some big event, an assassination or something else. It's all a distraction. And these folks are not wrong, but they're not right either. Or they don't know just how right they are. Because truly, these things are all distractions. But what are they distracting us from? And what is the actual prime time? What's the real thing? What's the thing to actually pay attention to? Well, in my opinion, most folks don't go deep enough because they cite events and they see that there's a world stage on which things are being done to distract. But once again, is it the distraction from implementing the digital world order? Is it the distraction from what's happening behind the scenes so people don't realize? Yeah, that's all true, but it's not getting to the core of things. What are we really being distracted from? Well, let's look at the big picture. Look at this entire system. Look at your lifetime, okay? Look at the average lifespan is 75 years. That's, through all countries, that's the world average. And what are people doing in those 75 years? I have a little bit of there's a statistic here. So 3.5 years are going to be spent on education. 10.5 years are going to be spent on work. 2.5 years are going to be spent on driving. 26 years are going to be spent on sleeping. 10.9 years are going to be spent on TV or streaming or any other kind of screen. And then 7 years are going to be spent on hygiene and cleaning and chores and stuff like that. So what that leaves you with is a measly 3.35 years or 30,600 hours to do whatever you want to do or to do nothing at all. So the conspiracy, the distraction is that you are being led away from the one thing that changes everything, which is thought. See, what humans in the current, environment system are very rarely capable of doing is thinking. And you will say, but John, all these things require thinking. No, they require sort of a task-attached planning in your brain. So you think the things that you need to have in place to accomplish these tasks. That's not free thought. That's not creative thinking. And now let's go back to where everything originates from, which is thought. Okay, so everything originates from thought. Everything that we have ever seen or never seen originated from thought. Our own lives, if you think about it, our ability to think, which is an analytical process and then paired with an emotional process and a spiritual process, it's all in one if we do it correctly, is the motor of our lives, which allows us to design our lives, which allows us to change our lives and change the bigger picture. However, we never think freely. Most people either regurgitate or replay the same movie of the past, which is simply, that's not thinking. That's just replaying a movie in your head, or they worry about the future in imaginative scenarios that will not come about, but they're rarely present in the now to be able to think. And it is also, specifically in the spiritual community, it's sort of a frowned upon thing. People say, people think too much, they should think less, they should be in a state of non-thinking, which is idiocy. It's complete idiocy. You have the ability to think. It's a wonderful gift if you are the director of your thinking. And so we're being distracted every single day. And the way that our lives are designed require us to spend so much time fulfilling tasks and so little time actually being in free thought. And then, people have sort of taken the last rituals that we had of reflection, where you would have a bonfire at night, or at least a fire in your fireplace or whatever, where you would just stare into the fire and reflect. And those are the things, when people think freely, and when people create enough space and time in their lives to think freely, they are able to figure all these things out on their own. They can actually see the world for what it is. They can see the distractions. They can see what doesn't matter, and they can see what does matter. It is their time and ability to think that allows them to do that. So yeah, you could go out, you could watch 20 more videos right now. You could watch other people think, or you could, log off and give yourself permission for 10, 15 minutes to just be and think. And chances are that in the beginning, some unpleasant things might come up, old memories or whatnot. And rather than fighting them, you just accept them, right? We need to heal our thinking. Our thinking is completely erroneous. It is more computerized, like a machine. We think to fulfill tasks in order for us to exist in the way that we do. And that needs to shift to creative thinking, where we go back into the co-creator mode, where we do imaginative thinking, where we envision things, where we envision a future that's, worthy of living, that we actually want to create an experience. So that's the distraction, folks. It's the distraction from our own most important innate ability, which is thinking. And so when you plan out, I'm not saying, quit your job and get out of everything right away. That might cause some chaos. What I say is make some time for that. Give yourself at least an hour a day that is non-planned, that is not about tasks or doing or action per se, but it's where you are actually capable of sitting down and just thinking, which is what changes the world. And I forgot who said it, but and I'm paraphrasing here, but all the world's problem stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room and think. And I'd say sit quietly outside and think. And make friends with that again. Make friends with your own ability to think and to be a co-creative being. That just might change everything.
Your environment shapes everything, your thoughts, your health, your energy. But most people never question the invisible field they live in. We did, and that's when FLFE found us. It's not a product, it's a field of pure life force energy that lifts everything it touches. We now live in it 24/7, and we would love to invite you to experience it too. Start your free 15-day trial now. No pressure, no strings attached. Just the truth, resonance, and peace.